Hello again, everyone. I am Gary Gatza with Race First, filling in for Chris at NRN, who's on assignment this week. And welcome to the National Racing Network and Race First co-coverage of Round 5 of the official iRacing Indy Pro 2000 Championship Top Split, coming to you from Road Course A, or the Road Course A configuration of the Homestead-Miami Speedway. Joining me in the booth for expert analysis for tonight's race, he's the inaugural Revolution Indy League's Daredevil Series champion, the namesake for Team Watson Racing and Team Watson Racing Setups. You have no problem spotting this guy's cars on the team grid. He's the man you rely on weekly here to keep the play-by-play guys sounding good. It's James Watson. James, this is the second time me and you have done this, but you're an old pro at this. Tell us all about Homestead A and what should we expect tonight?
I have no idea what we're going to expect. This is such a random layout, random track that we put on the schedule. I'm looking forward to it. I've always enjoyed racing this track. I've raced it in a lot of different things. In fact, I even have an official win here in a Jetta. It's like nothing most have ever seen before. We're going to see a lot of chaos. Of course, you can already see that on a week base. We could see some potential wing damage off of the track. I know a lot of people have been reporting having wing damage from the transition back on to the main straight. So that's going to be a really interesting challenge that we're going to see these top flight guys have to deal with.
This is our first time doing this in a while. You seeing the feed okay on your end?
It does say it's actually paused.
Oh, it's interesting. Interesting. If you can't,
there we go.
Okay, good. Hopefully, we're kind of doing an odd share tonight. Normally, I guess the guys at NRN do it a little bit differently than what we do at Race First. It's okay. We'll get it taken care of. Here is your ticker, Porcelli. He is on the pole, provisional pole right now at the 1:16.8. Daly with the 1:16.9. Preston with the 1:17.2. 4 minutes 45 seconds left here in qualifying. As far as I know, and of course this is kind of an odd layout, the Homestead A layout track record is held by Ricardo Zonta. If that name sounds familiar, I believe he's done some Formula One before. He holds the track record for this configuration. He set it back in '98 in a Mercedes-Benz CLK LM car with a time and speed of 1:14.298 seconds, which we're not that far off on. We're really only 2 seconds-ish off that pace with a speed of 107.082 miles per hour around this course. And that was during a FIA GT Homestead 500 event. So that's about the only information we really have about this. In terms of covering this course here on Race First, we have covered the B course for the FIS, and of course we covered the Oval a number of times for either Indy Fixed or other leagues, RAL, other leagues that we carry. But I believe this is a first time that we are carrying the B course, or the A course, here on the program. So this is going to be interesting. We will have at the bottom of our screen here the track map. If you're not familiar with it, there it is. So you can see what the track layout looks like. Three minutes 13 seconds. So where are they getting the damage on the wings? Right there when they come off that final turn onto the main straight?
Correct, because you're hitting it at just the perfect angle. The first thing to go up on the banking is the wing, and the wings are very sensitive. Almost, it feels like it more sensitive than the IR-18. Like, I've just seen light little scrapes with the rear of a car, and just the tiniest little bend in it, and that's worth like at least a second. Like, as soon as you see the damage pop up, the other car, that car is just gone, just everyone pulling away.
Is it all about hitting it at the right angle, getting back up on the banking cleanly, or is it just anybody at any angle is probably going to get wing damage at some point during this event?
I feel like if you kind of take more of a straight shot on and you're hitting less, you're more past where it's starting to decline, I think you'll be okay. But if you just kind of go straight off of that corner up, you're gonna damage it. Because I know I've ran here before, also in a GT league, and that was causing a lot of damage to the front elements of the fenders. Yep, right there. That's probably damage.
All right. We've seen similar issues happen with open wheel cars at other tracks. Lime Rock comes to mind at the bottom of the hill there, coming on the main straight, and actually a very similar situation at Road Atlanta coming off the hill down on the main straight there. We see sometimes the front wings get nicked up there. Sometimes at the top of the hill too, when they kind of make that blind turn into turn 3. What they call, looks like more of a turn 2, but it's turn 3 at the top of the hill there at Road Atlanta. So let's get into tonight's starting lineup as everyone is starting to grid up here. And there we go. Let's hide some of these other graphics. On the pole, our man David Percelli, the 1:16.6, secures that by a good 2/10 over Chris Preston with a 1:16.8. Nicholas Daly in the number 5, lining up third. Everett Paddock, I was talking about him in the pre-race. I saw his iRating. I'm like, why don't we see him in the IR18 at all? He's got the number 1. He's lining up 4th. Nakasiya Yoshikawa, know him from some of our coverage here on Raceverse. He's in the number 4, starting P5. Kyle Ciacelli, starting P6 and the number 10. Moving on, Richard Holt starting up 7th. Michael Haller, we've seen him before. He's a winner at Dover in the RIL. He's starting 8th in the number 9. Brian Labarge 9th. Stephen Thompson in 10th. Frank Gwynn in 11th. Daniel Smith in 12th. Rod Eskew 13th and 14th. It's a 14-car field here in the top split. Jesse Hodgson lining up 14th with a 1:19 flat. Long pace lap here before we get started tonight. 23 laps. What do you expect, really? I mean, you're expecting chaos. That's that kind of the consensus of all the drivers here in the pre-race.
Definitely, because look how narrow and abrupt this turn 1 is. You know, well, the car kind of it's flighty and going down into, and right here, it's such a quick, abrupt braking zone that I would be surprised if we don't see any going on in there.
How's the first couple laps going to be? These tires are notoriously known for being hockey pucks. Of course, they're going to have to last the entire race. No pit stops, I believe, are going to happen here. So how are we looking at in terms of bringing these tires up to temperature? Is it going to take them a better part of a lap or a full lap before they could really start tearing off some laps, or what?
It's probably going to be around 2 laps before we get them up to temperature. Wow, Everett really trying to get them up to temperature right there.
Yeah, he was doing some massive scrubbing there. We got him on the camera.
Yeah, then when you get out of that section, it gets pretty straightforward, you know. Types of corners that everyone is kind of used to. So you're not really going to see too much chaos around here unless someone really goes for the dive bomb from oblivion.
Coming back onto the NASCAR Indy Oval.
Now, here's where I think is also going to be a bit chaotic, because you're going to have all these cars drafting up, and then this is another
big
quick,
brake zone.
tight,
Yeah,
abrupt. Yep.
Now, can you damage the wings coming off the banking too, like that, real abruptly?
I don't believe so. I don't think there's a steep enough incline for it to really damage. One area that we might see me some damage is coming up right there. See those little yellow tires?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a solid object. Yeah.
Landmines all over the place, getting ready to go green. Porcelli brings him up to speed, and we are underway as he's looking to break the draft already. Here's a turn one. Preston sends it. Everybody seemingly safely through the first set of corners into the infield S's. A little side-by-side action, a little bit further on back for 9th, 10th, and 11th. Long draft train beginning right now. Got a car pulling out to take a look past going into that corner. Oh, Michael Holler. Off.
Oh, Mikey, no. Well, gonna be a lonely race for him now.
Well, we'll see if there's any attrition that brings the action back to him. Daly getting a little squirrely on hard on acceleration out of the corner down the backstretch where the draft will play a role. Hard braking into the second portion of the infield. It's kind of a fast portion here. It's not a very slow. It's just a couple right, left. There's a slow portion. Watch the landmines there. He was just talking back up on the banking. That's where we're damaging the wings right there. A couple cars hitting that banking hard. And at the end of 1 of 23, Porcelli, Preston, Daly, Paddock, and Yoshikawa, your top 5.
Already starting to get a nice little bit of separation from everyone in the pack. A little surprised about that. Kind of figured it'd be a lot closer for a while.
And the top, we'll actually go take a look here at the battle for 6. That's one of the closest ones right now between Ciacelli and Yoshikawa. All the battles seemed, you're right, seemed to have stretched out rather quickly. This battle separated by just a few tenths at the moment. Right behind them, there's another battle brewing for Labarge and Smith. They're in that orange and white and green and white cars.
Got that creamsicle car, Daniel does.
Yeah, I like the creamsicle car. Brian apparently not familiar with the green car curse, but he is going to sport it nevertheless.
I don't know. I've always seen that it's only really... Oh, sounds like someone spun.
That might have been... That's Ciacelli?
Is that Chris Press? It's hard to say. They're both my cars, but even after all this time, I still have.
I think that was that was Ciacelli.
I think it is because yeah, it looks like Chris is still in second behind.
He is back underway, but those tires are probably yelling a little misery right now. That brings that whole battle behind him much closer together. Labarge, Smith, Gwynn, Thompson now back at the top. This is the bottom half of the top 10, all nose to tail for the most part. Coming off of corner number 7 down. I guess you would call this one of the back straights. And they hit this hairpin, almost 45-degree return. A little bit of a dog leg onto the main the backstretch there. And right before they get to IndyCar NASCAR turn 3, this is turn 9 right here, back to the infield. A little bit of a slalom through 10 and 11. Slow down, take it easy through 12. And back on the main straight. Oof. And they're smacking that banking hard.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's not as much of an issue when everyone's wing is damaged.
Well, back up front, David Porcelli is your leader by 6/10 over Preston and by another 4/10 over Daly. So tell me, and I'm familiar with how they do it in the IndyCar community. How does the Indy Pro 2000 community pick the schedule? Is it done through voting and group consensus, or is there just somebody that picks the schedules and goes, oh, that sounds pretty cool, I want to run Homestead A?
It's pretty much kind of a hybrid of both. The Indy Pro community has a dedicated team of community managers that puts together a list of tracks that we know the cars work at or could work at, and a lot of them are chosen by the CMs, but there are a couple slots that are left up to a vote. There's usually like 1 to 2 road courses and about 1 oval. So normally the votes go straightforward, although sometimes you get some atrocities like the community voting to go to the IMS oval with these, which okay if you like big, huge pack racing disaster races. But yeah, although the iRacing has kind of taken it into their own hands, they elected to it doesn't really seem like there might be much of a community manager. It seems like iRacing will be mostly picking the schedule from here on out, which is kind of nerve-wracking a bit.
Oh, okay.
Some of the tracks that could be on the schedule are ones that we have proven multiple times cannot work, like Nashville Super Speedway, unless you want like a single file train around the bottom where everyone's full throttle, can't actually set up a pass or a run. So yeah, the next schedule is going to be a sight to behold, if you want to call it that.
Well, we do have the upcoming Indy Pro 2000 schedule graphic here that we can show you. After today, of course, last week they were at Fuji for the first time. Of course, this week Homestead Road Course A. Next week, we talked about it once before. You might see the wing problem again. Next week, Road Atlanta, then to Twin Wing Motegi on the oval. That should be interesting, these cars. And then you and I will be back together here on week 8 at Spa. And then you guys hop the plane back over to Japan. Not a very efficient traveling you guys got going on here in the virtual world. Back to Twin Wing Motegi on the road course on the East configuration. I can't even say I've seen that before. But that's between now and week 9 here on the Indy Pro 2K schedule. Here is the point situation, and David Porcelli is your leader, and he is the points leader. Preston is P2. He is P2 on the road course at the moment behind Porcelli. Yoshikawa P3. You see Yoshikawa in P4. So what you see the standings, Yoshikawa and Daly, they're swapped on the race course, but the top 4 in the standings are together on the racetrack.
Yeah, it was interesting. Normally, Everett Paddock is a lot higher up in the championship battle, but he's missed the last couple of races, so it's nice to have Everett back. You know, Everett has been one of the longest-standing members of the series and the community. I remember commentating and seeing him win races when I first started broadcasting the series about a year ago, so it's always weird to see an Indy Pro SOF race without Everett Paddock, so we're good to have him back here, running P5, I believe.
Actually, I see him now out. Yeah, I see him in 14th out, so he must have had an off, and we missed it. Now, right now, your top 5 was Porcelli, Preston, Daly, Yoshikawa, and Ciacelli. So Everett Paddock retires after lap 5. Not sure what happened there. Wow, Ciacelli gets passed by Smith, so Daniel Smith now up into the top 5. Ciacelli's having issues getting back up onto the banking in that last set of corners in 11 and 12. Got passed there again. So, and once Smith got around him, Smith has started to separate himself from that white, red, and green Italian-looking race car. and they're starting to queue up behind CSL. Labarge, Gwynn, Thompson, Askew, they are all right there together. Haller is back into the battle. He works around Richard Holt for 11. So remember, Haller was involved in that bit of an incident on the very first lap. Fell all the way back to the end, track position-wise. Worked his way back up to 11th now.
Yeah, I saw on the front of Kylo's car, he's got that bit of damage that I was talking about earlier. Yeah, next time we see the shot of the front wing.
Yeah, we go right on board on the roll cage with CSL. Yeah, you can see it on the right side there. The plane looks pretty bent.
Yeah, he is not having a good time. I wonder when he spun earlier in the race, he spun at just the right angle to smack it and knock it out of whack.
Check up front, the top three have kind of not really working together, but definitely have the pace to pull away from everyone. Got a bit of a 6-second lead over Yoshikawa at the moment. Almost to the halfway point at this race. Gone by really quick. To get some business here done, taken care of for the NRN guys. If you enjoy NRN's coverage of the official Indy Pro, iRacing Indy Pro 2000 Championship Top Split, and you respect their weekly stream, please do them a solid. Make sure you support them by subscribing to their channel. And while you're at it, don't forget to smash the like and click the bell so you don't miss out on future NRN broadcasts. If you are just joining us, this is Racehorse and NRN's coverage of the official iRacing Indy Pro 2000 Championship Top Split, coming to you from Homestead A course, where we've completed 10 of 23 laps, scheduled 23 laps. Thanks for joining us. And like I said, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on the next race.
Yeah, normally we see a lot of SOF races kind of end up like this, where the top 3 or 4 start to pull away, and they just kind of ride for a bit. You know, a lot of the tracks we go to can get a little draft heavy, so you're always going to be stuck with one another. So top guys in the series just kind of have a gentleman's agreement to just kind of stay put, get a gap to the rest of the pack, and then start to fight it out amongst each other. Sometimes, though, we get races where no one is playing by those rules, and we get hit slingshot after slingshot after slingshot. Although, I don't think that's what we're seeing here. I think Chris is just on the edge of losing draft. Draft is about 9/10 of a second to a full second in this car, and when you kind of fall out about 1.1, that's when you're kind of in the no man's land. So I think David has done just enough to get out of that draft range, and you can just kind of cruise on from there.
You can see the intervals. He's 1.3 behind. Preston's 1.3, now 1.1. They're going through a slow portion here, which kind of escalates and escalates. Shrinks and grows, that's what I mean to say. That's the 1.3 to Preston to Porcelli. Then Daly is about 1 So they're about equal gaps here from between first and second and third. Accordion style of racing here on the infield. Your top 5 is Porcelli, Preston, Daly, Yoshikawa, and Daniel Smith. We saw Daniel Smith pulling away from CSLE. He kind of stopped. Oh, they're kind of... let's go back and look at his battle behind Labarge. Labarge, SQ, Thompson, Haller. Haller sending a full send on the outside. They're in turn 8. Haller's worked his way now up to 10th. He's very aggressively going to want to work his way past this group, get himself up into the mid-top 10 classification. Labarge is leading this group. Here in that green car is Askew P2. Thompson, not P2. Askew is P8. Thompson gets right up on Askew's attenuator. And P9, Haller now in P10.
Honestly, I'm really surprised that Kylo has been able to pull away from the group with his damage. I'm wondering if Brian might have
Let's take a
wing
look.
damage of his own, because that's the only thing I can figure.
Let's take a look on the in-car. Wings look pretty level.
Yeah, I can't say I see anything.
Oh, there he goes. Gets a little
Whoa,
loose
woo.
off of corner number 6 there. That's going to open the door for Askew to take the pass in 7. Now it's going to be a bit of a freight train as we're working down the straight coming into 8. Holler's going to take advantage of this, thinking about sending it to the inside. He's going to send it to the inside, and he will pick up the position there. And that one, almost, not quite. They were going to drag race down the backstretch. Holler's going to crowd a little bit. Yeah, but he gets the arc into the corner. Now Holt actually is going to get into the action here. So that one little bobble cost LaBarge 4 spots.
Yep.
Oh! Oh, and I don't know if that was a little netcode chrome horn action there or what, but Holler gets a little loose on the acceleration coming off the apron onto the banking in 12. So he will regain himself. Already an adventuresome race.
Yeah, that could have been so bad. If he doesn't save that or overcorrects, that is back in the path of like 3 cars. What a save by Mike.
Mike still slidey coming through, coming through 6 and 7.
I'm telling you, man, this is why this car is great. You can see they are wheeling the absolute heck out of these cars. Like, they are on the edge every corner, every lap. That's what makes this car fun.
Was here on Race First about 2 seasons ago on the Revolution Indy League Schaefer IndyCar Series. Holler won their stop at Dover. Yeah, an IndyCar race at Dover. He had himself actually won it on fuel strategy, believe it or not. That was, I believe, a race where we had either one caution or no caution, but he ended up winning it on fuel strategy. And to date, his lone RIL win. But winning on Dover is a pretty big achievement. Indy cars and Dover do not go to well together.
Yeah, it was fun if you just, like, you know, putting around behind other cars and not being able to pass.
Right.
I'll never forget watching Dakota's engine blow.
The lone engine failure in RAL history, Dakota the Man's engine blows up. Oh, that's because everyone was sitting in the draft for so long. Yeah, that was an entertaining race.
And we were all running low fuel maps. Oh, that's a send.
Yeah, LaBarge tries to send her in there.
Yeah, we were all running low fuel maps, and I got the engine coolant temp warning. I'm like, I best dial it back. And then 5 laps later, poof, there goes Dakota.
LaBarge is really trying to get around Thompson. He's to the point he's really sending it in there. Thompson's got a good run coming off the corner. This is the best battle on the racetrack. The leaders are Porcelli's 3 seconds over Preston. Actually, Daly is actually closer to Preston than Preston is to Porcelli at the moment, but it's still almost 2 seconds separating them two. So we'll keep it here where the action is. Holler getting a look
to
the outside. He's going to be able to get the position. There comes Holt.
Man, what a move. Yeah,
Holt's picking up in a position there himself.
Ooh, that was a big wiggle. Yeah, this is what we normally tend to see, like a long train of cars just throwing haymaker after haymaker.
8 to go already. as we've been enjoying really this battle here in the mid-pack, as the leaders have kind of, I guess, done what they really want to do. They don't really want to make it exciting. Holt going down low to protect the position over the rumble strips.
That was close.
Once again, if you're just joining us, you're watching Race First coverage along with NRN of Round 5 of the official iRacing Indy Pro 2000 Championship Top Split, coming to you from the Homestead A course, where David Percelli is led from flag to flag. As we're watching a battle here in the lower portion of the top 10. LaBarge kind of throws the block on Gwynn there. Percelli's currently leading with 7 laps to go. Thanks for joining us. Make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on the next NRN race. Oh, LaBarge getting squirrely off of 12. I might open the door for Gwynn this time to take a look. This is a battle for 11th at the moment. Nope. That whole train's kind of separated. We'll kind of move up a little bit further up there. Let's check out David, our leader. He is clear by Preston over 3.3 seconds. There is Preston. They're all coming down to corner number 8 to go back on the backstretch here at Homestead-Miami. There's Nicholas Daly currently in P3. Yeah, each of these guys, even if they don't do anything here on the race course, looking at a pretty good I-rating payoff, finishing in these positions. Yoshikawa coming back on the backstretch right now, very solidly in P4 by himself. Daniel Smith, well, he's been in this battle with Kylo Ciacelli pretty much all race long. Ciacelli sporting damage on the right plane of his front wing, but he's able to keep pace. So does that help possibly, if it hurts downforce, does it help with less drag?
In all my experience with the car, if you get that bit of damage, you get lower downforce and a whole lot of drag.
Yeah.
Like, it just turns into an anchor. So I'm absolutely gobsmacked that Kylo is able to keep turning these lap times that he is. Because like just a couple weeks ago in the SOF race at New Phoenix, Andrew Barry, who's regarded as one of the, if not the best around an oval in this car, he made a little bit of contact with Porcelli's rear tire, and he just immediately went all the way to the back, and he went from battling for the lead with 20 to go to nearly being lapped in those last 20 laps. So yeah, I'm shocked.
And yeah, much like the real life Indy Lights when they are racing during NTT IndyCar Series weekends, these are sprint races where there's no pitting involved. So if you're familiar with IndyCar racing, a lot that we cover on Race First, you know, if you damage your front wing, that's pretty much a 2 or 3 bolt quick release that the crew members can pull off, slap on, and get you in and out of the pits. Maybe an additional 5 to 8 seconds longer, but still, it's a pretty quick switch than what it used to be. But you can't have that here in the Indy Pro 2K series, where if you stop, your race is pretty much done.
Pretty much, yeah. So yeah, give him credit. This is a heck of a drive.
5 laps to go. This is the closest battle on the race course at the moment. Also, Holler has worked his way up to P8 now, and now he is stalking Thompson. This is the other closest battle on the racetrack. So we'll see how well Holler recovers from his spin, but now he's got to be thinking shoulda, woulda, coulda. If he didn't make that spin, no, he gets loose kind of off corner number 6 there. He is really trying to lay down that power to reel in Thompson. No push to pass here, no gimmicks to make the car faster. It's just your right foot. No DRS. None of that.
Nope. Straight up race. How it you.
sliding those cars to corner number 10. Back to that real quick switchback, 10 and 11, back onto the banking. And battle's not as close as it was before. But that CSLE battle, that is still close. There we go. 4 laps to go. Leaders still Porcelli, Preston, Daly, Yoshikawa. Your top 4 watching a battle for 5th spot between Daniel Smith and Kylo. Of course, next week is Road Atlanta. What do you expect for Road Atlanta with these things? They've actually, not the pro cars, but Indy Lights has been there before in real life, back in the late 90s, I think, early 2000s.
Whoa.
And I think those are some races that Weldon and Townsend Bell were in, as a matter of fact. So what do you kind of expect these cars to do at Road Atlanta? It should be pretty fun, at least on the back portion of the course.
We've raced Road Atlanta in these cars a few times.
I look at the inside. He gets that position.
What a move.
Wow, good drive. I would say if there's 2 drivers we want to talk about that are doing the drive of the race, you got to look at CSLE, who has worked his way up to 5th with a damaged car. And we got to probably talk about Michael Holler, who has worked his way back up to 8th after giving up all sorts of track position on lap 1. Looks like LaBarge is in pit road, had some incident. We got 3 laps to go. I'm not sure if we can really quickly see what happened to LaBarge, but he is in the pits. See what happens. Ooh. Maybe he clipped at those yellow buckets, and then he dives to the inside and retires right there.
Wow.
Interesting. Well, maybe he had an equipment failure or something. I'm not sure. But back up front, 2 laps to go. Porcelli making easy work of this. He's still going to slide the car through the corner. Have a little fun while you're at it. Yep.
That's how you drive it. You're doing that pretty much lap after lap.
He is your leader by 5 seconds over Chris Preston. Chris Preston pretty much been in that P2 position all day. I'm guessing that he is a teammate to a CSLE based upon liveries.
Correct. Yeah. Him, Kylo, David, Yoshikawa, Smith, all T-Divorce.
All right.
Yep. I just messaged Brian LaBarge. He said wing damage and oversteered into the tire pile.
Okay, we thought we might have saw that one, but you were right. That tire pile will finish you off. And we are on the final lap here at Homestead. That went by incredibly quickly. Great racing by everybody. Very few incidents. Porcelli moving through 2, 3, 4, and 5. Hitting backstretch number 1 before slowing down to get to corner number 6. Just a couple more corners to go before he's halfway through the course, basically. Corner number wise. 6 and 7. Cruising on down backstretch number 2. Looking at the hairpin number 8 to bring them back onto the oval. Team Watson Racing Enterprise going to have yet another win here. Team Watson Racing here in the PM18 series. It's the Andretti Motorsports version. There we go. Off the final corner. Onto the main straight. And your winner, doing the Porcelli weave, David Porcelli. Getting a great win over Chris Preston and Nick Daly. We'll watch others as they cross the finish line. Here comes the Yoshikawa with a good top 5. Very quiet top 5, P4. I would imagine he had a pretty boring race outside those opening laps. Here comes Ciacelli with the drive of the race right there, P5. Daniel Smith comes home P6. Thompson being pursued by Holler, but he's going to hold on and get 7th. Holler recovers to 8th. Not bad, all things considered. Holt comes home 9th. Gwynn coming home 10th. SQ and Hodgson finishing 11th and 12th. And LaBarge in the pits 13th. And Everett Paddock got the DNF after 5 laps, classified in 14th. Let's take a look at the final standings from tonight's race. David Pacelli, your winner. And I imagine that's something regular you see in this series.
Yep. Back for David.
And Christopher Preston, Nicholas Daly, P2, P3, rounding out your second and third steps on the podium. Yoshikawa, CSL, your top 5. Smith, Thompson, Holler, Holt, Gwynn, your top 10. SQ, Hodgson, LaBarge, and Paddock, rounding out the remainder of your 14-car field. That is it for the top split race. Let's see if we got anybody in the interview room. And we do have Chris Preston waiting there. And I'm not sure. Normally you got the podium that comes up, right?
Yep.
Okay. All right. We'll see.
Should be here within the minute or so.
All right. Well, we will prep waiting for them here momentarily. And we'll get ready for those guys to appear. And let's see, we got anybody in there. There is Nicholas Day. Let's go bring him on up. Hey, Nicholas, you're in the booth here with Gary, filling in for Chris. And, of course, James is here as always. Very outside the first couple of laps, not a very exciting race. After everything kind of separated, you're just kind of there making laps and trying to minimize your mistakes. Certainly, we saw some impact of what happens if you get your wing damaged on that transition in 12 off the banking or off the apron onto the banking. But beyond that, I mean, what was the drive like for you? It just seemed like it was just by the numbers almost.
Yeah, it was just pretty much just a little hot lap session. Just trying to get the best laps I could. I was really trying to push and catch up to Chris, but at the end they were too fast, and David was just in another league, man. So yeah, I just had one little mistake, got an off track, lost maybe half a second, but yeah, other than that, it was a good race.
James, you got any questions?
Nope, not really at this time.
Okay. Well, next week is Road Atlanta. It could be more of the same, especially with the way Road Atlanta has some very long straights involved. What do you think about these cars next week at Road Atlanta?
Yeah, I love Road Atlanta. That track really races very well, and lots of different cars. This car is no exception. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Well, while we have you here, any shout-outs you'd like to make to sponsors, family, friends, anybody watching from home?
Yeah, thank you guys at the National Racing Network for putting on the great broadcast, and TNT Racing, and my team Downforce Racing. Thanks.
Well, there you have it. Congratulations. P3 on the day. And also probably is going to help a little bit in the championship, at least maintain position and maybe maintain pace with David there, the leader. But we will see you next week, or at least everyone here on the network will see you next week at Road Atlanta. I will see you when I'm back when we do Spa. So we'll see you then.
Okay, great. Thanks.
And let's bring up Chris Preston. Hey, Chris, got you in the booth here with Gary and James. Again, I was talking about Nick, that just after a while, after getting past those opening laps there, it just kind of became a strung out, kind of by the numbers race, just making hot laps, keeping pace, minimizing mistakes. I mean, what was the race like for you? I mean, once you got separated, there wasn't really much battling going on at all.
No, there wasn't after the first few laps. I knew from the race we did at 8:15 that David was just in another league tonight, and my strategy was really just to qualify up near him, hold on to his toe long enough to break it behind me, and then just try to secure the P2. Everett and Nick were going to be the wild cards tonight because they weren't, or they haven't done a race yet this week. So I see Everett ripped a tire off at the last chicane, which is just an absolute nightmare of a corner. So yeah, the rest of the race was honestly quite boring, but I built my setup to be safe so that I could just make it to the end and not worry about clipping that chicane or spinning out in the rest of the corners, and that's what I did.
Yeah, it seemed like that final corner there, corner 12, either it was tearing off somebody's wheel, or once you got off the apron onto the banking, it was damaging somebody's wing. So maybe save that for Intel for when they pick this track again, to maybe have them not pick this configuration, maybe go to the B configuration. But next week, kind of going to I was telling Nick, it's kind of a similar course in terms of it has very long straightaways on it, and that's Road Atlanta. What are your thoughts about going to Road Atlanta in these cars, and about keeping pace there with David?
So the tracks are actually, like, as much as I guess you could argue they're similar in the layout, the setups for the cars are completely different between the two tracks. Tonight we were very high downforce, and then next week we're going to be running as low as can be. So in that sense, it'll be a lot different. And with low downforce is where I feel a lot more confident in these cars. So for me personally, I'm much more looking forward to Road Atlanta.
All right. Well, before we let you go, to go celebrate your P2 with your team and family, friends, any shout-outs you want to make? Family, friends, teammates, loved ones, you name it. Go ahead.
Of course, I got to shout out my teammates at Team Watson Racing. We had a great showing this week. My teammates at Limo Boys Racing. I'm sorry that you can't tell Kylo and I apart in the cars. And, of course, thank you guys for the fantastic broadcast this week.
We try our best, but thanks for being a part of the event. Congratulations on the P2. Everyone will see you next week, and we will see you next when I do the broadcast in Spa. All right, let's bring up the winner, David Percelli. Hey, David, congratulations. It's been a while since I got a chance to talk to you on a broadcast. A win here seemed rather pedestrian, but man, your pace was by far and away faster than anybody else. Never really was challenged outside the opening laps. Tell us about your race.
Yeah, I mean, you summed it up pretty well. Nice to see you in the booth, Gary. Always a pleasure. Yeah, just really happy I could put it on pole. It's a tricky start here. Not a lot of time between the green flag and the pace car, so believe it or not, that presents an opportunity because people are really antsy. So once I got the launch, it was a matter of breaking the draft with Chris behind me, and then yeah, just hitting my marks and making sure I didn't grab that last chicane in any improper way that might end my race.
That last chicane got a couple people today.
Yeah, it was getting me in practice, and I knew it was you can either damage your front wing going up on the banking, or if you grab that tire wall on the left at the apex, it can rip off a wheel. So I was really focused on just not messing that up. I felt like I had some quicker pace in me, but once I broke the draft, it was just a matter of keeping that distance and bringing it home for some good points.
And with that said, it does help your points lead in the championship almost halfway through the season. Next week is the halfway point, and been asking everybody about Road Atlanta and their thoughts as the series moves there next. What do you think about Road Atlanta in these cars?
Oh man, I love Road Atlanta. It always produces a great race. Even if you do have pace on the people in front of you, you're not getting away from them. So it is down to racecraft, which I actually love, and it's my home track in real life. I mean, I'm from New Jersey, but it's the track I have the most laps at and the most wins at. So I'm really looking forward to it. I tend to do well on the tracks in the sim that I've raced on in real life. Homestead being one of them. So looking forward to Road Atlanta tomorrow.
Oh, that's cool. You actually raced this configuration before? Real life?
Yeah, I have. Actually, road course B, so we didn't have the last chicane,
Yeah.
but pretty much the same thing.
Yeah, B has more of the oval. That's right. Very cool. Very cool. Well, congratulations on the win. Doing well in the championship, going to the midway point. Any shout outs? Anybody want to say hi to at home that might be watching?
Yeah, absolutely. I got a list of sponsors first: Racecraft One Indianapolis, Team Watson Racing, Satellite Racing. Thanks so much for all your support, guys. Hi to the family. I think I'm forgetting something, but that's okay. I'll get them next time. Thanks so much for an awesome broadcast every week on National Racing Network, and hope to be in the booth with you guys next week.
And might we see you on Race First possibly this Saturday during Open Strength of Field, IndyCar Open Strength of Field?
Oh my God, wait. So I meant to be in the race last week and just like totally lost track of time and missed registration. So I hopped up in the comments, but I didn't get any love from you. So I'll be in the car on Saturday.
Good. I was hoping we saw you in the comment. I thought I got you on the air in the comments, but yeah, if I didn't, I thought I did. But yeah, we hope to see you there on Saturday at 2 p.m. here. Well, actually, not here on NRN, but we'll be on Race First. But hopefully we'll see you then. Yet another race this week. So congratulations, and we'll see you on Saturday.
Yeah, looking forward to that. Thanks so much, Gary.
No problem. Bye-bye. All right, James, that pretty much sums up today's race. Not a whole lot of excitement, but we saw some good battles in the mid-pack. But for those guys with the pace, they did exactly kind of what they wanted to do. Drove away from everybody and kept it nice and clean up front.
Yeah, this was a dream race if you're David, Chris, Nick. Like, this was just what you wanted to see. And you really don't get that many opportunities just, put around and not have to worry about really holding the position. So yeah, and as always, we got some great mid-pack battles, absolute slugfest. So yeah, pretty solid race all around.
Your thoughts about Road Atlanta coming up?
Road Atlanta just works with this car. Like, of all of the road courses for this car, it's one of my favorites, especially going through like the first sector of the track where you're going through all the blind chicanes, you're going up that uphill left-hander, you're full on just hanging the rear out of the car. Like, you feel like a race car driver when you're wheeling this thing around that place. So yeah, when we've seen some really good battles, last year's SOF went down to the wire with like the top 5 being within like half a second coming to the line. So we're probably going to be in for another good show.
Well, it sounds like everybody here at NRN, make sure to mark your calendars and click the bell so you're reminded about that one. Sounds like it could be a fun one. So that's it for tonight. We at Race First would like to thank everyone at NRN for choosing and trusting us with the wheel this week. For everyone watching from home, if you like what you saw here, be sure to hop on over to youtube.com/RaceFirst and give our channel a subscribe as well. We really would appreciate it. I will see all of you again in 3 weeks back here with James when the Indy Pro 2000 Championship moves on to Spa for round 8 of the series. Once again, your podium from Homestead is David Pacelli with the win, Chris Preston P2, and Nicholas Daly P3. Chris and James will be back again next week for round 6 of the official iRacing Indy Pro 2000 Championship top split as the series goes to Road Atlanta. As always, make sure to check YouTube for the correct broadcast time in your area at youtube.com/National Racing Network. Now, as you know, the YouTube algorithm game is not an easy one to play, so please help support Race First and NRN with the weekly grind, and leave a comment below and let us know what you thought of tonight's race. And if you enjoyed tonight's coverage, support NRN by smashing like in the video just like this. The algorithm monster loves the thumbs up. If you're new, make sure you click subscribe, and while you're at it, hit the bell for weekly reminders so you don't miss out on more of NRN's other iRacing programming. For business inquiries and learn more about Race First and what we do, visit racefirst.com or subscribe to us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, or follow us on Twitter. Excuse me. You can visit us at racefirst.com, subscribe to us on YouTube. There we go. Like us on Facebook, or follow us on Twitter. You can follow all of us via our Twitter handles right here. And I've done 2 races tonight, so my mouth and my brain are totally disconnected. But there you go, Race First mine, and we got Stevie and Justin from our Monday night Indy Fix broadcast. Feel free to add us in Twitter, and we'll be happy to talk iRacing anytime, especially IndyCar racing with you any time of the day, sometimes of the night. So for James Watson, everyone at NRN and Race First, I'm Gary Gotzo saying to all good night, and thanks for watching, and to all our men and women serving in the military and as first responders, Godspeed, God bless, and come home safe. Catch the series again right here on NRN next week at Road Atlanta for the next race of the official iRacing Indy Pro 2000 Championship Top Split. Good night.